bathroom movie review and action. I know, I'm a little late on this one. The finale for Daredevil Born Again has been out for like 2 weeks, but believe it or not, I don't just sit on the toilet all day reviewing movies. So I was really behind when Born Again started releasing. I think I'd only watched the first 2 episodes of season 3 years ago, but thanks to modern binge mentality, I caught up, and then on a 10-hour plane ride both ways, I was able to watch all of Daredevil Born Again. Speaking of which, when I heard that this was the name of the series, Daredevil Born Again, I was like, okay, cool. So we're going to get the classic superhero plot. He's going to go through a crisis, not know who he is, go through some struggles, and then he'll have to find himself and become Daredevil once again. Or it's just going to be a really strange plot. Mama! Yeah, that's a classic dance move I invented. It's called The Born Again. Before the release of this series, I had my reservations about it. I mean, Disney was doing it, which Disney's come out with some legendary shows and movies. But on the other hand, Disney has had some major flops and fell short at times. And the first 3 seasons of Daredevil was this intense, action-packed, mystery, pretty gruesome at times show, and I wasn't sure that Disney could follow that. Plus, they had so many script changes that I heard about, but guys and girls, they pulled through. I loved this season, and it kept that tone we all love, or at least people with good taste love. They did not shy away from the gruesome scenes, they weren't afraid to take dark risks, and each episode kept me on edge. I mean, for reals, I have not felt this on edge with a show since I watched Game of Thrones for the first time during COVID. This show gets to you. Alright, let's hit on a few points. So this season is about Wilson Fisk becoming mayor of New York City. You know, because being a previous murderer, involved in corruption, blackmail of many federal agents and police officers, makes for a really great and powerful candidate. And it also follows Matt Murdock, as he experiences a heavy loss and has to come to terms with letting the law handle Fisk and the crime in New York City, or to put the suit back on and once again be born again and donning the suit once more. I honestly was a little concerned at times with the pacing because certain characters were coming, going, dying off. But in the final episodes, the show comes together perfectly, and it got rid of all those concerns as it makes sense why they made those decisions to bring us to this point. The only odd thing with the pacing is there's this episode where there's a bank robbery, and it felt like a different show. It had that MCU television series feel from other shows. It did not feel like the same Daredevil show we had been watching. We get Kamala Khan's dad in that episode, which I thought was super cool. I'm one of the few who watched Ms. Marvel, and I actually think Kamala Khan's character is hilarious and fun. So that was cool to tie it together with the overall MCU and show us, hey, Daredevil's part of the team now. But it just didn't have the same vibe at all. Now, I heard there were some reshoots. They originally were going to have the show be much more mild and tame, before thankfully throwing that all away and going with what we have seen. But I feel like this episode is one of the ones they filmed before and kept. I don't know, just my thoughts. So get off my back. In this season, we get the classic characters, Matt Murdock, Karen, and Foggy. They sure hit a bullseye, bringing him back. Ha. Hi! We also get new characters like the villain Muse or the hero White Tiger, which were super fun to see in live action, but eventually they too would follow the way of Foggy. Muse and White Tiger were only in 3 episodes each. But like I said, by the end of the show, it makes sense why they had him for those short amounts of time. But I just really wish we would have seen White Tiger in action with his amulets. I mean, we saw little glimpses, but it's just a tease, and then he's gone. And then we get the Punisher, played by Jon Bernthal, which I was so happy about. Jon was born to play this character, which I guess means he was born to portray a mass murderer who constantly stabs people in the neck. I mean, one of these days, one of those guys might be an undercover cop. But it's okay, Jon, you keep stabbing. And of course we get the Fisks, Vanessa and Wilson. What's interesting in this season is it really feels like Wilson Fisk does want to change. He says multiple times to Vanessa, I have changed, I want to be a better man. And I feel like you sense that. But the dude just can't get past his lust for power. It's almost like a game just to rise on top and be in control. He can't get past being Kingpin. He does love New York City, but I think he just loves being Kingpin that much more. And Vanessa basically pushes him there by whining constantly, Wilson, while you were gone, I was the big dog. I was in charge. Oh, and I cheated on you, but that's on you because I was lonely. Wilson. Gosh, Vanessa, you poor thing. And also, I constantly forget how bad Kingpin can be. I mean, I know he's a villain, but season 3, I was like, okay, he's bad, but not as brutal. Then halfway through the season, no, he's still a scumbag. And then this season, I'm like, okay, he's trying to be better. He's the mayor. And then by the final episode, pretty big scumbag. And then we get Poindexter, aka Bullseye. I'm super glad we had him back. Plays a huge part in the first episode with Foggy. And I love his power. This dude can literally pick up almost anything, give it a little chuck, and people die. Let me give it a shot. You're not my dad. One thing that I found funny in this season was the use of the F word. I mean, they don't constantly say it, but I'd say it's a decent amount. And it's not Fisk. It's just funny to me because I picture Kevin Feige sitting there with a bunch of other Marvel, Disney people, and they're like, man, the Netflix seasons were so good. They were dark, they were gruesome, they had great stories. Like, how do we beat that? How do we make it more edgy? Then there's some guy in the corner. Hey, Mr. Feige? Yes, Stuart? Well, you know, they never said the F word in the other seasons. By gosh, Stuart, you're a genius. If that's not edgy, I don't know what is. We're gonna match those stories, that action, and that gruesomeness. We're gonna push the boundaries further and use the F word multiple times. And can we just talk about that finale? For the first time in this series, we get a huge cliffhanger. I mean, sure, in past ones, there's little things like, oh, Elektra lived, or little other hints at future seasons. But this one, the good guys don't win. Fisk is in charge. Heroes are trying to figure out a plan. I love it. Great way to get me pumped for the next season. All right, 2 crazy scenes that I really liked. One, have any of you ever seen a watermelon just crack and break? Like, you know, you throw it up in the air, hits the ground. Usually it smashes, but there's usually a few big pieces kind of hanging off. When you pick it up, one's just kind of dangling there. So yeah, Wilson basically watermelons someone's head in the show. Part of the watermelon's hanging. It's smashed, he's holding it, the juice gets all over him. I think you get what I'm saying. It made me super uncomfortable, made me cringe, and the reason I like it is it shows Disney can get out of their box of the same vibe that I've felt from a lot of their stuff lately and pull some great stuff out. No, I'm not saying Avengers and all these other movies need to watermelon people's heads. I'm just saying it made me happy. And it looked way more realistic than what happened in Game of Thrones with Pedro Pascal's head. It looked like real life. Not that I've seen someone's head be smashed in real life before. Number 2, the Punisher and Daredevil team up. I mean, how cool does it get? We see Daredevil on one side of the room, just going super quick, martial arts, punching people in the face. And then I feel like the Punisher has a slow motion power because then it goes over to him. And it's just these scenes of him intimidatingly just walking up to people, stabbing them in the neck, walking up to someone else, stabbing them in the neck. I think that's his new move, is neck stabbing. All right, guys. So this season of Daredevil, for me, gets a solid score of not flushable. It was epic, it was great, and it was definitely worth the wait. So what did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you have complaints? Comment below and let me know. And if you like sitting in bathrooms and like watching movies, click below to see more of both.